He is on the cover as one of the 100 most influential companies.
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively get yet another fake PR award from Time magazine.
Ryan Reynolds just slipped up big time, allegedly exploiting insider relationships to secure a phony spot on Time magazine's prestigious lists. And he's not alone. Blake Lively's reportedly doing the exact same thing. He's manufactured accolades. They're nothing more than a smokescreen meant to hide lawsuits, defamation scandals, and the tidal wave of backlash about to consume them both.
Blake Lively was also one of the 100 most influential people in the world based on the fact that they gave some money to charity 6 years earlier.
For years, the media sold us the Ryan Blake fairy tale, Hollywood's golden couple, everyone's relatable dream team. But now, the illusion is cracking it, not just a little. That glossy, PR-fueled fantasy is falling apart fast, no amount of quirky Instagram captions or carefully curated candids can patch up the wreckage we're witnessing.
Time magazine exposing a deceptively manipulative, and I'm gonna say corrupt, media organization.
The Time magazine debacle alone proves how desperate things have gotten. They really thought no one would notice when out of nowhere, this couple neck-deep in legal drama and online firestorms suddenly got hailed as world-changing icons. Spin Machine is overheating, the gloss is peeling, and now the world's getting a front-row seat to the chaos behind the curtain.
He is on the cover as one of the 100 most influential companies in the world. And Maximum Effort, which is this company, is being celebrated. And everyone's like, how much did he pay for this cover? I don't know.
Blake and Ryan weren't content being rich and adored. No, they aimed for Hollywood nobility. But here's the thing. Real legacy isn't built on media tricks and trophy placements. It's not earned through hushed boardroom deals or magazine. Covers designed to rewrite history. It's a second time magazine played into their narrative, the rot began to show. And now the house of cards is tumbling down.
The fact that he even had to answer it in this forum shows it's impacting his business. So he can keep denying it all he wants, but this Jedi mind trick that they're pulling on all of you, this PR spin, don't accept it.
Let's zoom in on that Time cover debacle, because it's the definition of peak desperation. Somehow, Blake landed a spot on Time's 100 most influential list. Why? According to the write-up, it's thanks to a vague, nearly forgotten NACP donation from 2019. That's right, 6-year-old charity work suddenly earns her icon status in 2025. That's not just a reach its gold medal level mental gymnastics.
Blake Lively got this fake award from Time 100. One of the most influential people of 2025, yeah, because she gave a donation to the NAACP back in 2019.
And just as everyone started raising eyebrows over Blake's sudden leap to influential status, Ryan Reynolds conveniently had his company, Maximum Effort, named one of the most impactful businesses too. Total coincidence, right? Or maybe. Not, because once you scratch beneath the surface, you'll see the same tangled web of suspicious relationships that always seem to follow these two. Sure, Reynolds is likely raking in big bucks from his brand, but Time magazine? It's no longer the squeaky clean institution people once trusted. Its current owner, Mark Benofta, Salesforce CEO, has long-standing connections with Hollywood. Power players, especially Ari Emanuel, who just so happens to represent Ryan. Wild how these billionaires all show up at the same events, shake hands at the same VIP mixers, and magically end up on glossy magazine covers the moment they need to polish their public image.
They went to Time magazine and made a whole deal. Not only are you going to get your wife an award, which you guys need right now, and we'll get a civil rights attorney to step up and vouch for her. We're then going to wait a few months, and then we'll promote your business. We're going to put you in the Time 100 companies, so you can then not only get the attention, but you can then use all your businesses, which make you all the money.
And it's not just speculation. There are literal photos out there of Mark Benioff grinning beside Rahm Emanuel, Ari's brother, at high-profile galas, rubbing elbows and posing like it's a red carpet reunion tour. And we're seriously supposed to believe none of this overlaps? Come on. Even longtime fans are beginning to doubt whether those Time Magazine accolades were ever real recognition, or just the result of pricey backdoor dealings dressed up as prestige? At this point, those honors look less like awards and more like paid image rehabs with the right friends in the right places.
You can then not only get the attention, but you can then use all your businesses, which make you all the money and help show your businesses that you're still valuable. Oh, and we'll also throw in a big gala that you can bring Blake's mom to, and you can talk about how important DV is. It's going to be a perfect spin. What do you guys think?
Meanwhile, fans are shifting. Social media hasn't been as easy for Ryan to steer as he likely counted on. The cracks in their polished power couple narrative are wide open now, and the backlash is growing by the day. People are starting to see right through those perfectly timed photo ops transparent attempts to distract from the chaos bubbling behind closed doors. And speaking of distractions, where exactly did Blake Lively vanish to after her so-called courtroom victory? You'd expect someone as glued to Instagram as Blake to throw a virtual parade the moment her legal circus quieted down, but instead, silence. And that's raising eyebrows. Remember the last time she had a headline win in court? She was posting on social media like clockwork, playing hero, shouting about justice, and making sure her victim advocate label stayed intact. But now, nothing. Complete radio silence. That sudden disappearance totally clashes with her public image. Day, she's championing every cause. The next, she's vanished once the spotlight isn't flattering. It makes you wonder, was all that activism just another rehearsed PR move? Legal circles are whispering the same thing. That Van Zandt sham lawsuit. Yeah, the one that's spiraling out of control. It's starting to look like it was more about optics than accountability. And Blake's legal team? They're clearly scrambling, dodging fallout instead of owning it. But hiding won't make the blowback disappear, it's only intensifying. The internet doesn't forget, and the longer she stays silent, the louder critics become. Even with their crafted wins and finely tuned PR spins, their public image is falling apart fast. Fans aren't falling for the shiny branding anymore. The red carpet walks feel uncomfortable, forced, and the harder they cling to the Hollywood power couple narrative, the more obvious it becomes it's a castle built on spin, stress, and patchwork storytelling. But what's really absurd here is the hypocrisy. They love posing as do-gooders when it's convenient. Ryan drops a rehearsed one-liner, Blake reposts a trending cause, and suddenly, they're everybody's moral compass. But when it's time for real accountability, they go dark. The truth is, their activism has started to look as artificial as those Time magazine honors, and finally, people are catching on. That empire made of red carpet smiles, backroom favors, and hollow awards. It's wobbling hard. No amount of clever captions or interviews can patch what's breaking. The audience questioning them now isn't just trolls, it's longtime fans who've supported them for years. Now waking up to the staged reality behind their fame. It's about time. They chased royalty status in Hollywood, wanted to be everyone's favorite couple, but the facade is cracking. The structure is collapsing, and for once they can't retouch or rebrand their way out of it. No glossy photos, no fake accolades, no A-list connections can put this back together in Ryan. He's been making the rounds like he's on a promotional tour. He's tossing what can only be described as not-so-subtle digs at Baldoni, while simultaneously playing up his own brand as if he's rising above the chaos. Let's be honest. Painfully transparent. You'd think with everything going on around his wife and that collapsing lawsuit, he'd take a step back. But nope. Ryan's out here bragging like the entire controversy gave his business a boost. Imagine thinking that trashing someone else's name in the press is some kind of PR goldmine. It's not savvy, that's shameless.
Ryan Reynolds had a dig at Justin Baldoni. Again, this is what he does. So Page 6 was reporting on it, saying that Ryan Reynolds makes thinly veiled dig at Justin Baldoni as Blake Lively legal battle takes unexpected turn.
And it doesn't end there. Ryan's busy planting himself on every available stage, preaching about how transparency and ethics define his every move. Ethics from the guy who's been locking down his social media comments faster than anyone can say crisis mode? Please, if accountability means hiding from your own fans the minute they start questioning you, then sure, maybe Ryan's version of the word is one we haven't seen in the dictionary. What's really happening is classic image management. One second he's performing as the relatable, vulnerable millionaire next door just trying to make people laugh. And the next he's throwing passive-aggressive jabs at Baldoni and pretending. He's completely untouched by the storm, but his behavior gives it all away. If you weren't feeling the heat, would you be racing to silence your own audience? You don't build an entire narrative based on fake accolades, media manipulation, and image-first branding, then act surprised when people call it out. Ryan's TED Talk quotes about self-growth are nice sound bites, but his every move contradicts them. The moment he says he's above the noise, he's turning around and delivering another smug remark thinly disguised as wit. The contradiction's so obvious, it's almost laughable. And really, the only person still convinced by this performance, Ryan himself. But here's where it gets even messier. Let's talk about James Vushka, the Daily Mail reporter who flipped this PR disaster on its head. If you need a real-world example of how deeply Blake and Ryan's PR team is allegedly rooted in controlling media spin and silencing opposition, this is it. Vushka originally supported Blake's narrative, even submitting a sworn declaration that downplayed her alleged smear campaign against Baldoni. At first glance, it looked like textbook reputation control, until the real story emerged. He didn't write that freely. He was reportedly pressured into it. And unlike Ryan, who thinks charm is enough to dodge accountability, Vushka refused. To stay quiet, he fired the Daily Mail's internal legal team, the same crew tied to a major tabloid empire, and instead brought in Mark Geragos. Geragos isn't your average lawyer. He's the type of legal heavyweight you call when you're ready to take on some serious industry power. The fact that Vushka walked away from company-backed attorneys for someone with Geragos' reputation says everything about how deep this controversy runs. His whistleblower status? Not just clickbait, it's a flashing siren, signaling just how far Blake's camp may have gone to protect their narrative, from manipulating press to reportedly coercing journalists into compliance. This incident exposes the mechanics behind their glossy image. And make no mistake, this isn't just on Blake. Ryan's fingerprints are all over this machine too. The man's entire brand is built on being likable while working relentlessly behind the scenes to steer public perception. The Vushka situation reveals that no amount of charisma can hide what's happening behind the curtain forever. Ryan walks around in his just a regular guy costume, selling sarcasm and humility. But behind the curtain, he's one of Hollywood's most methodical media tacticians. It's incredible how he's pulled off the illusion for so long. He's just a playful dad cracking jokes, saving the world in a red suit, and maybe tossing a few witty one-liners online. But each step he takes is soaked in calculated intent. For someone who thrives on relatability, you'd think he could stick to a consistent message. But no, his contradictions are glaring. One minute he's confessing that he lives for public praise, claiming he can't function without being liked. The next, he's brushing off criticism like it doesn't register, as if thousands of tweets dragging him don't even exist. His Time magazine profile was the clearest red flag. The entire thing read like a script written for sympathy points. He went on about how values drive everything he does, trying to reframe his empire as morally sound. Meanwhile, the same empire is accused of staging character assassinations, doctoring the media lens, and making sure no one with a dissenting voice gets to speak. But hey, as long as there's a smile and a clever quip, we're all supposed to swoon, right? And then there's the whole Wrexham FC fairy tale he can't stop name-dropping. If he brings up that soccer team one more time like it's proof of humility, people might actually riot. That entire storyline isn't about community spirits. It's another brand play, perfectly timed narrative dressed up as feel-good content, meant to polish his public image while chaos unfolds behind the curtain. Ryan wants to be the underdog, the relatable guy with charm and a conscience, but the truth? Ryan Reynolds isn't just some charming movie star with a sense of humor. He's a corporate mastermind dressed up in a hoodie and smile, running a finely tuned PR engine that keeps criticism at bay and the public cheering. This isn't about authenticity, it's about image control. Everything about Ryan, from his timing on social media to his viral ADS, designed to serve the brand, That relatable persona he wears like a second skin, it's no accident. It's a shield. One crafted to deflect scrutiny, while he and Blake manipulate stories, shut down opposing voices, and bulldoze anyone threatening their carefully built throne. Underneath the quirky jokes and picture-perfect captions is a man so obsessed with control, he can't improvise a single moment. Every tweet, every word, every smile, it's rehearsed. But the act is slipping. Whispers are getting louder. Former allies are speaking out. The curtain is starting to fall, and no amount of witty comebacks or spin tactics is stopping it. Illusion is breaking down. Ryan's empire, propped up by charm, strategy, and media leverage, is cracking. Ain't this time, not even Time magazine. Puff pieces can plaster over the truth. It's almost comical how Ryan's turned his biggest embarrassment into the cornerstone of his branding empire. Green Lantern wasn't just a flop, it was a full-blown cinematic disaster. The kind of film that should have sent a career into hiding, not for Ryan. No, he gave the bomb a glossy coat of sarcasm and rebranded it as the humble origin story of his marketing genius. He wants the world to believe that being part of one of Hollywood's worst superhero flops was the secret training ground for his media savvy. But all it really did was reveal how he operates, turn failure into a viral moment, and weaponize it. His production company, Maximum Effort, is literally engineered to hijack attention. Pushing out clever content at lightning speed, has mastered the game, capitalizing on trending stories to keep himself center stage. People eat it up, mistaking rehearsed timing for spontaneity. But it's all strategy. It's distraction disguised as charisma. Take that whole Peloton mess, for example. Remember the creepy bike commercial where the husband gifts his wife an exercise bike and she logs her journey like she's trapped in a reality show? Social media torched it. Peloton's stock took a dive. Enter Ryan. He inserts himself into the scandal with an aviation gin ad starring the same actress. Suddenly, he's the champion of satire, riding a wave of applause. But let's be honest, it wasn't about calling out outdated gender roles. It was a golden PR opportunity dressed in humor. Ryan flipped a viral blunder into free branding. It was smart, but it was also pure exploitation. His entire model is built around this whoop in during chaos, twist it into a comeback moment, and rake in the praise while pretending to be just the clever guy next door. Same story, different. Stage with Wrexham FC, he parades around like buying a struggling Welsh football team, some noble act of giving back. Please, it's just another branding tool in his arsenal. Wrexham became another page in his never-ending PR script. Tear-jerking documentaries, press tours, feel-good speeches, all crafted to build another layer to his underdog image. But behind every misty-eyed stadium photo is the same business plan. Build a brand, push the merch, capitalize on emotional connection, and cash in. It's not about saving communities. It's about expanding influence and making bank. People see heartfelt moments. Ryan sees dollar signs and exposure. It's slick. It's successful. It's incredibly calculated. What's tiring is how. He masks it all behind the lesson from failure narrative. He acts like Green Lantern taught him humility, resilience, and how to be better. But let's get relit taught him how to control the narrative, manipulate optics, and spin any disaster into PR gold. He doesn't want truth, he wants headlines. He doesn't seek accountability, he seeks applause. And now, as more people are connecting the dots, the cracks in the facade are widening. He's not rising from failure, he's burying its criticism under rehearsed charm. And here's where the hypocrisy reaches peak absurdity. Ryan and Blake love to ride in on their moral high horses, posting about justice, responsibility, and doing good while their entire empire thrives on shady lawsuits, silencing critics, and capitalizing on fake virtue. Blake's defamation suit against Baldone, built on a shaky foundation and packed with contradictions, yet she carries herself like the righteous avenger of truth. Then she disappears into product campaigns like Betty Boo's hawking cocktails, while she's entangled in legal controversies, because nothing says credibility like launching an alcohol brand in the middle of a PR war. And Ryan, he's out here mocking Baldone like the whole mess is beneath him. He's out here tossing snarky comments like confetti. But the moment anyone throws some heat his way, suddenly Ryan's playing the victim card. It's the same tired narrative he's the poor, misunderstood celebrity being unfairly attacked by the big, bad internet. But pull back the curtain, and it's a whole different story. Behind closed doors, he's orchestrating image makeovers, locking in media deals, collecting accolades through elite connections, and working overtime to silence dissent. While he and Blake act like they're under siege from online mobs, they're really just two PR puppeteers using their powerful web of industry ties to stay untouchable. So whether it's magazine covers, influencer shout-outs, or Time's carefully timed honors, it's all part of a highly calculated game to keep the public distracted. What they dress up as success rooted in values is actually a non-stop spin machine built on hollow messaging and smokescreen strategies. Everything they project to the world, every grinning red carpet moment, and every sweet-sounding campaign is nothing more than a branding operation. They preach accountability when it fits their image, champion causes only when they serve their personal narrative. But those glossy veneers are cracking. The illusion is losing its shine, and it's not just critics pulling at the seams anymore. Their longtime supporters are waking up to the smoke and mirrors. Whistleblowers, insiders, even journalists are jumping ship and revealing just how fragile the foundation really is. The golden couple of Hollywood is shedding that bulletproof PR skin one misstep at a time. The curated image, the staged speeches, the social justice posturing, it's unraveling. It's not even Ryan's signature wit is sharp enough to sew it back together. And what makes the downfall so striking is how hard they're still trying to hold up the mask. It's not about acting talent anymore. It's about optics, influence, and manufactured relevance. Time magazine's convenient praise, their long silences when things get uncomfortable. The selective media blitz it all exposes the web of narrative control that's been running behind the scenes. But the web's tearing. More voices are emerging, dissecting every move, and exposing just how deeply managed and manipulated the Reynolds' lively image really is. The empire they crafted through charm, strategy, and industry perks is collapsing in real time. No social media endorsement or fluffy puff piece is going to reverse it. For years, it turned controversy into currency-painting lawsuits as heroic battles, turning PR slip-ups into redemption arcs, and presenting their marriage like the ultimate celebrity fairy tale. But the script is coming apart. The stories don't stick anymore. The moral messaging feels phony. The cracks aren't just visible, they're growing wider with every denial and deflection. The brand Blake and Ryan built is breaking down under the pressure of its own contradictions, and honestly, watching that illusion implode, that's the most honest moment we've ever gotten from either of them. Then there's the cherry on top, the Time magazine mess. It's hard to imagine a more transparent grasp for legitimacy. When someone lands on a list like that, it's supposed to mean they've genuinely shifted culture, inspired innovation, or pushed society forward. But Ryan, his resume lately includes gin commercials and passive digs at his legal rivals. Recent credits involve legal tactics and a hard seltzer campaign. And now, they're waving those honors like holy shields anytime the public questions their behavior. But accolades aren't earned in champagne lounges or through favors from billionaire media execs like Mark Benioff. Real influence isn't for sale, but you wouldn't know it watching them parade around with their trophies. This whole saga feels like a magic act falling apart mid-performance. They've spent so long fine-tuning illusions that they forgot the audience eventually sees the trapdoor. They can flash awards, shut down critics, and schedule as many glossy photo ops as they want. But the longer the truth leaks out, the more the empire erodes from the inside. Let me know in the comments how much longer you think they can keep this act going. Don't hold back. I'm reading it all. And of course, hit that subscribe button if you're done falling for the fakery.